I'm just a few seconds, like 4 seconds away, actually.
We can see that the hair looks completely different today.
Yeah, so he's more motivated. Yeah,
well, he feels better.
He feels better.
I think so. I mean, okay, like he said, he'd had the food poisoning.
Is there some hidden point in Black's play or not?
I don't believe so. I think we're very likely to see h4 here. I think now's the time.
Also, we are threatening rook b5.
Yeah. So it adds a little Tabasco sauce to that move. Rook b5. Again, all of this is predicated on the fact that a rook trade is almost immediate harakiri for black.
Yeah, it's so difficult to defend these positions from black side. Yeah, it's also from white side. If it would not be this match situation, white would be enjoying it. Yeah, it's lovely that risk-free I can keep on playing. Fabi actually opted for rook 6 b5 first. Nothing really changes. The black rook will be kicked away.
But if black plays rook c2, I think that's the worst time to play h4 because you're allowing this bishop d3, bishop f1 maneuver. So I think Fabi wants to put the other rook on d4 to restrict the bishop. And then finally, I think all the puzzle pieces will be in place.
Yeah, first rook d4 and then go h4 and take it from there. Black might be forced to take then g takes h4. That's also a very nice kind of constructing all of white's pieces to make maximum pressure on g5, and the g takes h4 will give new possibilities for white.
It feels like g takes h4, you know, regardless of the objective assessment, is a moral victory for white, because to go back to the analogy, you know, g takes h4, anytime you can cause a new stage of the game, by definition, you're posing a new set of challenges. Abasov has to start from scratch figuring out where to put his pieces. And this plan that you indicated of g4, f4, f5 is already a very clear path that, if allowed, will lead to immediate victory. So that is a very unsettling thought, that suddenly there's a concrete plan that you have to stop at all costs if you're Nijat. And there we go, rook d5, same thing. And I think we're about to see h4 in the next move.
Yes, now already one can... How did you highlight it? White's king journey was step 1.
Yes.
And now placing the rooks is kind of step 2.
Yep.
And h4 will be step 3.
And then we reset. Like, either the pawn on h4 or the pawns are traded on g5, and then clean slate. Again, both sides have to figure out their defensive setups, and obviously white has to figure out a way to keep asking questions. But the idea of doubling on the 5th rank is also very achievable. So that's another reason Fabi arranged his rooks the way that he did. After he plays h4 and takes on g5, he can very easily lift his b rook up to b5, and then he's simultaneously attacking g5 and still stopping black's bishop from journeying to f1.
I even have the feeling that you remember first when Nijat got the chance of switching to the bishop g6 defense, then we thought like, wow, maybe Fabi should have not let that happen. However, ever since the bishop reached g6, Fabi is playing with clear idea how he wants to progress the position. I'm not even sure that he is really worried that the bishop reached g6. It seems like he's now much more happy that he knows what to do.
I feel like he might be winning here.
Wow, that's a statement.
It's a controversial one, but it feels like the more I look at this h4 move, after gh, I'm confident, quite confident that he can win that. There's just too many problems, too many weaknesses. If black plays h4, you know, king f6 or f6, then again, it's just more weaknesses. And this idea of doubling on the 5th rank, I just think is potentially devastating. And I think you can kind of see it in Abasov's body language. He's suddenly very, very tied down.
It's not a pleasant feeling when you are kind of relying on a fortress position and your opponent is confident, he's making progress.
The less will become a distant forever within our souls. Some do even know, and life will go on, and then will become just nothing at all. Just nothing, just nothing, just nothing, just nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all. And then will become just nothing at all.
And for younger players watching and trying to make an example of Fabi, even the strongest players, they never play instantly. He sees this line. He saw it a while ago, but he's forcing himself. He's literally holding himself back, double checking. He knows that F5 is an ultra committal move. He knows that he has to check this line carefully and calculate it precisely. So really showing the power of professionalism and the methodical nature with which Fabi has been converting this advantage step by painful, excruciating step. And ultimately, he will get rewarded for his efforts if he can come up with this final blow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all his last 10 of 50 moves indicated into one direction, that he has this clear plan, what he wants to achieve. And thanks to this King F6 inaccuracy with the Rook G5, he basically made a big step forward. Now he has a forced win. He doesn't have to try to grind things out after King H6.
That's absolutely true. It's funny that King F6 was perhaps at a lower depth of computer evaluation or the top computer suggestion, but this really displays the dangers of trusting exactly what the computer says in such endgames. That's part of the reason I love endgames like these, as we see Fabi executing the game-winning move. Sometimes even computers can be really tripped up by the complicated nature of these endgames. That's it. Rook F4, the final moves of this game. Fabi will take on H5 and pre-move G4 and win this game and take us to another tiebreaker.
Yeah, Rook takes H5, King A6, G4 will happen. Fabi is just
knows it. Fabi knows it.
Yeah, Fabi is just such a fighter, and also he has the opening weapons. Yeah, it's very difficult against Fabiano to get a safety position. He always has fighting options, and he is finally breaking through and wins on demand. There is no way Abasov can save this.
And Abasov probably deciding whether to resign now or after King E6 G4, or thinking back to where he could have defended better. But you've got to take your hat off for Nijat Abasov. After a disastrous opening, the guy fought tooth and nail. He did his very, very best. He came oh so close to holding this position. We thought upon the transition to the Rook and 3 versus 2 Rooks and 3 versus Rook Bishop and 3 that Black's drawing chances were at least equivalent to White's winning chances. But at no point did Abasov have a forced draw. At no point did he come truly that close to holding the position. It was always very unpleasant. It was always very, very difficult to hold things together. But this really could have gone either way. What a game by Fabi. What a defensive effort by Abasov, but it won't quite be enough.
I also have admiration for Fabi's decision, the courage that he was taking this 3-3 pawn, and there is the handshake. Big congratulations to Fabi, bouncing back on demand. Fantastic.